Welcome to the Healing Hour. I am your host, Athena Rodriguez, and we'll be having some healing conversations. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Healing Hour podcast. Today we have a special guest, Miss Jasmine Pittman, and she is the CEO of J Decor. Sorry, I already butchered it. We just talked about this.
It's okay. You actually said the name right. The name is really pronounced Jacor in upholstery, but most people, I make it easy for them to just say J Decor.
Yeah, most of us are like very slow, so.
And I have to have it for both people, both audiences.
Some of us are very slow, so.
It's okay.
Yes, but we got it down packed. Mm-hmm. And tell us a little bit more about who you are and your business.
Ooh, okay. So who am I? Oh my goodness, I am a child of God.
I know that's right.
Oh my goodness, and it feels so good, like just naturally, So basically, I'm originally from Philly.
Okay, Northeast.
Yeah.
We got it over here.
I'm the north side, East Coasting. From North Philly at that. From the hood. Real bad. Real bad. And then I originally located to Houston in 2014.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So how's your journey been coming from down here? Because, I come from the Northeast too, so it was a lot like moving down here. So what was your experience like coming down here?
Oh my gosh, I love that you asked that, because the experience for me was so it was open. It wasn't like a blur. Mm-hmm. I saw right through how I was gonna get there. It was so instant too. I didn't wait. I was like, okay, after college, because I had graduated college August 2014, and I moved to Houston in September, the month right after I graduated. And I didn't even think that I was gonna move to Houston, but then I did. That ride.
Oh yeah, because you drove.
I drove, and the kicker is I drove with $300. That was it.
Period.
That's all I had. That was it. And I swore, because back then I calculated gas. Right, I'm like, okay, gas, a little food. I'm gonna stop at a little fast food restaurant. That should be maybe a $5 meal. I'm just kind of budgeting. But I packed my car. It was a Toyota Corolla. It was a 2010. And I packed it to the capacity. At that moment, I was living with my mom. Mm-hmm. So I had just my clothes, and I just packed my car. One, I didn't even know I had that many clothes. But I packed everything.
everything got to come.
Everything had to go. And so what I did was, it was more so it was a transition. I felt that I was saying bye to everybody that I hung out with, and it was okay, you guys, we got to hang out this weekend and this day, and they're like, you're really leaving? And I'm like, yeah, I'm really leaving.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. So that whole month of August, because it was early, I was just yeah, you guys, I'm going to Houston. Didn't have no plan. My aunt actually stays in Houston, so she's originally from Philly too. But I was that's going to be my little crutch where I'm going to stay at until I could get up on my feet. So it took me a day and a half to get here. That was the first time I ever took a road trip.
Damn.
Yeah.
I just processed that. Wait, your first one was across the country?
Yes, that was my first time. I haven't drove that far ever, and the first time I drove that far,
I refuse to drive to Dallas. That's where y'all got me. I'm not going past Austin. Okay, y'all got it.
It took me a day and a half. I stopped in Atlanta, and we got a hotel, and I was like, okay, cool. I actually had someone with me. She was my hairstylist.
All right.
Yeah.
So the edges was laid the whole trip.
She was my hairstylist, and she was like, I think I'm gonna go with you. She was like, this is your first time doing this? It's I don't want you to do that. So I was like, okay, cool. And it made me feel more comfortable with the trip because, like, I was like 22 at the time. So being 22 on a road like that, going somewhere I don't know, I didn't even think about it. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I didn't think about it. I didn't even care for her to go. It was like, you either come or you not. Right. Whatever it is, I'm still gonna go. So I was like, okay, let me get there. And it was an experience. It was so beautiful. Like, it was so beautiful.
Were you anxious on the drive? Like, what were your thoughts? What were the thoughts going through your head while you were driving?
Were you really
excited,
doing this?
Nervous?
I was like, I'm really doing this.
You want to turn back around?
No, girl. As soon as I got to Virginia, I was like,
this
is it. This is like, I was like, this is it. As soon as I got to Virginia, I was like,
you in the South now. As soon as you get to Virginia, you down South.
Yeah, and it took like 8 hours to get out of Virginia.
Oh, yep. That'll do it.
Virginia was so low. So when I got there, cause like I'm just moving. I'm like driving, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing like we're going across the the interstates, and I'm just seeing the signs like welcome to, and I just keep seeing welcome to, and I'm like, I ain't going back to Philly. Like, and I just kept going. It was beautiful.
It was like, did you feel like a sense of like this is it, like a new birth kind of thing? Yeah. Or were you still kind of like, if things get hard, I'm gonna go back home?
No, I didn't even. I knew, like, it wasn't even in the back of my mind, because I feel like when if I was to do that, I'll be playing myself in a sense. I felt like it wasn't about nobody. It was about me the whole entire time. I'm like, if I go back, I'm
It's gonna be the same story.
I felt like I just gave up so quickly, right, and didn't even see what it could be for me. Like, that wasn't even in the back of my mind to move back. Honestly, I was like, I'm gonna figure this out.
No, I completely feel that. Like, I'm a transplant too from Houston, and we were talking about that. Like, whenever I moved to Houston, it was like your story. Like, there's so many parallels to our story that y'all are going to figure out later in this podcast. Like, I'm like, oh, I kind of met my match.
Yeah.
I met somebody who, a whole stranger, had such a similar story to me. And when I packed up, I had crashed my car, so I had to use a loaner, and it was a Toyota too, but it was like a 1989. And I had no AC. And so I didn't have no radio, so I just put my phone really loud.
Oh my God!
You gotta put it in a cup.
You gotta do what you gotta do. That's how she does.
It was so.
Oh my gosh!
When as I was putting everything into that car, I was like, "There's no going back." Not one, because I'm not unpacking this shit ever again.
Yeah, and I say my goodbyes. First of all, I'm up here. I'm telling everybody, we're going out to eat, we're going to dinners, we're actually celebrating my transition.
No, you got to go for real.
So I was like, I can't go back. Like,
there's no going back.
And I didn't even think about it. And like, just with that, when I stayed at my aunt's, baby, my aunt reminded me of my mom. I said, oh no, I really got to go.
Oh yeah.
I said, I came here and like it was really quick too. So I was like, I came in September. I left her place in December.
Right. I feel that when you establish that there's no going back, like, you just have to just forward think. Because I was kicked out of my college dorm.
Oh my God.
I owed them people money.
Ooh. You know they don't play. They be knocking on your door right as soon as they hit the
Girl, the day before my class even up, they're taking me down. Like, okay, well, let me just pack my shit and go.
They alert.
So I packed my shit and I put it all in the back of the Honda Toyota, whatever. It was old. It was one of them little cars. Yeah. And literally that was it. Like, I came to Houston, and I've been thugging out here ever since. So what was your experience once you actually got here?
Oh my gosh, my experience when I got here was like, it was new. It was like, okay. I was like looking around like a little kid. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Because Houston has like different highways. So, like, if you've ever been to Philly, like, Philly is like the trenches. It don't matter what part.
I drove through. Never had to stop.
Like, yeah. So it's like, it was just like a whole new world. It was like a whole new world. I was like, oh my gosh, all these highways, they look like roller coasters. All these homes and just all this space and the skylines. I'm like, this is beautiful. I said, I can, see myself doing something here for real. So it was like an instant, like, love.
I feel that when I was driving I drove through downtown. I saw the roller coaster type skyline, and I was just like, yeah, this is home. This is home from now on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
That's
so. So how did you figure it out?
Girl. So one, I've been very intelligent, I'm gonna say.
Right.
Pretty intelligent woman.
Big degree.
And big degree. So if I was gonna go somewhere, I had to have a plan, obviously. I used to work at IKEA, and I was able to transfer my job from Philly IKEA to Houston IKEA. And I was like, okay, that is perfect. I set it up because here I go. At that moment when I knew that I was going to Houston, I went to headquarters. I was like, excuse me, am I able to transfer to Houston? They like, let's see. They like, oh, let's see what the type of positions, because I was in customer service. So they were like, yeah, we have positions open. When you trying to go? I was like, oh, this is real. I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, yeah, I'm leaving in September. They're like, great, because I planned this out pretty broad. So they had the position open. I was ready to go maybe that following week. So with my $300, probably went down to $100.
Auto $5
gas, girl, gas was real.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't be down the street with this gas today. You would have made it to Lake Charles and been like,
yeah, no, seriously, I'd have been like, dang, now after I left, I got extra money, like. My mom would have been like, oh,
this economy.
I swear. Girl. So at the time, yes, gas was pretty inexpensive. Now I made it on my $300.
Right.
So then after working at IKEA, I was like, okay, great, like I can do this. But I realized it wasn't enough to make me like get an apartment, get another car or whatever. So I was just like, let me look for another job. So I looked for another job. I got hired by Louis Vuitton. And I just, baby, what? I swore everything. I was like, ooh, Louis. I thought I was about to grow, like, in the company.
Yeah.
That was like, because when you go in, you don't want to just think about, like, just your position.
Right.
You want to think about how you're going to climb that ladder, at least for me, So, I'm thinking, like, I'm going to climb this ladder. I'm going to become, sales or whatever. It didn't matter. So, but I got hired for a seasonal position, right? So, but during the seasonal position, they were telling me, like, yeah, girl, you work so hard, and da-da-da-da-da. And they, persuade you on thinking, like, you're going to, they'll pick you. So,
no.
my young mind with no guidance, okay? I'm just moving by faith, not by sight.
Right.
That's just me in general. Yes. So I'm like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work super, super hard. Show these white people, okay, what I can do, right? So they're always giving me, credit and stuff. So I thought I was really moving up there. I got me my first apartment. My first apartment was literally in Houston.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same.
Really? Okay. My first apartment was in Houston on the north side. Good Lord Jesus.
I know you was hearing gunshots. I know there's some bad little kids running outside.
Listen, I would rather hear gunshots, baby. No, it was roaches, baby. Okay? Yeah, it was roaches.
Northside got a bad rap. Not letting up.
So
I have not beat the ratchet allegations.
No, you was gonna get one or the other, you know. And I thought the apartments were pretty nice for my first time. You know, it was about $693 a month. I was like, I could do that.
Oh, that's good. What is that again? I'll stomp some roaches out for $693 at this point.
No, not the way the roaches was coming out.
Oh, damn. That an army.
They said that you moved in my house.
I don't want no smoke.
It was like Joe's Apartment. You ever see Joe's Apartment?
Who?
It's a movie called Joe's Apartment.
No, I didn't.
If you go on YouTube, just look at it.
See, in Boston, we had rats. So, but surprisingly, rats don't faze me.
Right.
It was like the mice, but whenever I moved down here and I saw roaches, I was done.
I was done. And they was coming out the sockets.
You don't know where they mice. You hear them coming, like you hear.
Yeah, it was like really coming out the sockets. I'm talking about I'm spraying like the little spray.
Girl, they coming out from the pipe from the
yes.
wires.
They didn't care. And imagine having company. Girl, I'm up here looking like you better not come down.
No manners.
Looking at the roach on the wall, you better not come down. I swear to God.
Yeah, trying to see your company. Girl, roaches have no respect. At least mice, you see them, you know, they only come out at night. No.
It was bad, but it was an experience for sure.
Sometimes you gotta go through it.
You gotta go through it to get through something, girl. So, get that out right.
Right, the roaches got you choked. They back for vengeance.
Right. So, not only did I get my first apartment, but I ended up trading my Toyota for my Honda that I still have because she's been so loyal to me. And she's been real. So, after I did that, I was like, oh, good, I'm great. I'm like, yeah, sure. Well, not y'all, because I wasn't proving to nobody. I was really proving to myself. I was like, oh, I got to go back to Philly. Like, you know, it's like one of those things like, I'm really doing it. Mm-hmm. And I had no help, you know? So, I was like, okay, great. Let me get comfortable. That's why they say don't get comfortable. Louis was like, yeah, so, yeah, we can't keep you. I was like, what? What you mean you can't keep me? I poured out my heart so bad. Like, I cried so bad, like the world was about to end. Like, I thought somebody just told me that I lost my house and I gotta go back to, like, you gotta think, like, all of these things that's happening, I'm like, somebody trying to get me back to Philly. You know, I'm like, what's going on? So I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, please no. I was like, they don't care. I just bought a car. I just bought a house. I'm like, it was my first apartment. I was like, I just came out here. I don't know. Like, I'm by myself. I'm just crying to them. They looking at me like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't believe this. They're like, it's very, you ever like get in front of somebody who's hysterically crying?
Yeah, girl, I've been on the other end. I've been on the end where I'm crying and the corporate people like, you still fired. I was in there fighting for my fucking life. Yeah,
and that's what I was doing. I was like, no. So they're like, okay, well, you're gonna, they're like, well, it was just like this manager girl. She was okay. She's like, I'm gonna help you find a job at Target. I was like, no shade, right? I was like, Target?
And we're bougie now.
Okay. I'm like, Louis Vuitton to Target. I love Target. But when it comes to different pay and like, now I'm paying bills this is my first time paying bills.
Right.
Rent. What, electric? Like, all these things that come along with adulting. I'm like, okay. So, after that, she figured out that I didn't want Target. So she's like, I have, and then she was like, they're paying $10 an hour. I'm like, so you're telling me I'm going from $20? You're literally cutting my check in half.
Yeah.
How would I do that?
Girl,
and I just
Target. Like, I just stole some lotion from Target. Like, no shade. They do what they get it done. They get it. From Louis Vuitton, I can see how that would upset you.
And I cried more. You ever like a child tell you like, no, you tell a child like, no, we're gonna get ice cream tomorrow, and they're like,
tomorrow, yes. All the way tomorrow.
It's so fun.
You could have just said no,
right? So I was just like, I can't do, I can't. Like, I'm breathing hysterically. I'm like, I can't do, I can't touch that. She's like, oh my gosh. Like, she's like, oh, I don't know. She's like, I don't know what to do. So I was just, so they're like, okay, we're going to let you stay for a couple more weeks. I was like, okay. I'm like, okay. Like, I got through it a little bit, but still in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay. They're going to release me sooner or later.
Right.
I figure this out. They was like, okay, so how about True Religion? I was like, that's better.
Now we're talking.
70% off. I can do that.
And True Religion was a movement.
It was a movement.
Everybody needs some truths.
Girl. So I was like, okay, True. I wish that True. Realizing that now I'm penny pinching. I'm like penny pinching to stay alive. Like,
that's right.
Trying to stay with like and within my means. Like my checks is my rent.
Right.
How many at this point? So I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
I gotta figure this out. I hit my cousin up. I like cousin. Cousin, like I know that I'm not supposed to be doing this, but how can I make some extra money? He's like, look, I know I'm your cousin. I'm not supposed to do this. But you work in the nightlife. And I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, that do sound good. But I was like, I don't want that to be, I don't want to just jump in it. Like, I don't want to just jump in it. So then, I still have my goody two shoes on. Still my little good girl. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
oh, Houston will rip that halo right off the head.
The halo.
Houston, Texas will rip a halo off a good girl's head.
Girl, I'll talk about, baby, the lights started to get dimmer.
And dimmer. It'll pull you to hell. It'll pull you to, this is actually low-key hell. The H in Houston stands for hell.
Ooh, it does. But it was like a good hell. It was like a good high.
Yeah, hell usually is good. That's where the temptation comes from. Nobody want to go sin.
That's true.
That's why sin feels so good.
Oh my God. So then I was like, all right. So now I was like, all right, how am I going to do this? So I went to go look for that Papacitos, anything Papa. Right? I'm like, all right, I'm going to become a waitress at least. Come and get some coins. Because I heard, I'm calculating. I'm like, if I can make this as a waitress, I can complete this. My tips is this. Work these tables. I went in there. I took the test and everything. I worked for 1 day. 1 day. They had me. I passed my test. Of course, it's food. And they had me hold the tray, the serving tray. That thing is heavy. I don't know how people can do it. But shout out to y'all, because that tray is heavy. And it got like a little pocket slip under the tray, so you can kind of hold it. But I'm right-handed.
Not they give you a left-hand tray. They wasn't even trying to help you out, girl.
So I'm walking around, I'm like this. It's all bent. I look uncomfortable. Like I look uncomfortable too.
Fingers cramping.
Right. So the girl like, no, turn it. I'm like, I don't want to turn it. Like, had a place all of that. It is heavy. And you're not coming out with one plate on the salt on a little tray. They got the whole entree. They got an entree
on there.
Man. So I'm sitting here like walking, and I can't hold with two because they look crazy. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm doing this.
Getting you an arm workout.
After that night, I knew I wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't coming back. I got paid that day though.
Period.
And I got a tip.
I know that's right.
But I was like, I'm not coming back. Call my cousin again. He like, yo, what you gonna do? I'm like, help me out. He said, you sure? I'm like, yeah. So he was like, all right. He called somebody up, right? Boy, like, all right, so let me meet her. So I'm like, okay, cool. He convincing me, my cousin convincing me, like, this dude, he's good. He gonna take care of, everything I got going on. Mind you, I'm green, so green, lime green, baby. I'm this green. Like, I'm so green. So I'm like, all right. what's going on? 22, mind you, still hot and ready. First time drinking, like only a year. It's only been a year I was able to use my ID. So still young as hell. So I go meet him. He seemed very nice. That's what they usually do. They try to reel you in. And my cousin introduced me to him. And it started to get like very, it was like, all right, hold on. Let me just go back. He introduced, he like, we gonna go to Onyx. I was like, all right, look, I heard about Onyx. At a strip club, it looks like I'm gonna become a stripper. That's what it sounds like. That's what I'm gonna have to do.
Make some shake.
Gotta make some shake. In my mind, I'm like, literally. I know how to dance. I've been shaking butt since I was like,
not shaking butt.
I've been twerking. I've been twerking back in the day, so I was like, all right, I feel like I can do it. Right. Meanwhile, like
nothing like the real thing.
What? Yo, twerking
it's like
not like a
party.
dance. It is not like a dollar party or, give me a Wally or something like that. That's what I'm saying, Philly. So, give me a Wally. So, it wasn't nothing like that. So, I got hired. They was like, take strip. I was like, all right.
All right, before we finish the story, we're going to go on a little break. All right. We'll be right back.
I was in a club, and it was my first time, but I went in I was a pro. Like, I'm like, look, confident as hell. I walked in confident, like, okay, that's what we gonna do. Cause whatever they got to do for me, as long as I feel like I'm safe, I'm just gonna do it.
Right.
So he brings me in and he's like, okay, here she go. Strip down. She's hired. I was hired on the spot. I didn't even do an audition. Most of the time, some of the girls, some girls
the girls
who
get it. The girls who don't.
So I got it in. I was like, okay, babe. Had my little, ran to the, what's some little, I don't even know the store. It's been a minute now. I don't even know what the store is called no more when you get
I
went to the dance store. I'm just calling it the dance store. I went to the dance store.
Pleasure Zone.
Girl, I went to Pleasure Zone.
You in Houston. If you know, you know.
Pleasure Zone. Shout out to y'all because y'all took care of me. Y'all baby money. So I got me the first thing spoken, thinking that was cute. A little G-string and a little bikini top looking. Got me some boot. Oh, I'm lying. I got me some heels around the ankles. Something. They were like little booties. They were like ankle booties though. And I was starting to make money, but I was just like, okay. What's going on? Because now why I'm giving my money to this man? Who is this? What is this?
Yeah.
Come to find out, he didn't hear pimp. I was like, pimp? What is that? I thought they was in movies. I swear to God. I never even knew anything about that. So I was like,
didn't know Ty came to Houston they existed. I'm like, this is real life.
This is real. Y'all do that out here?
Yeah, I always thought about pimps like the Canes.
Yeah, me too. With the hat.
Yeah, with the perms. Yeah, the Cat Williams. Every time I'm like, oh no. It's real out here.
Man, at the moment that I found out he was a pimp, I was like, oh, I gotta get out of this. I don't know what this is. I gotta get out, and I had to have an exit plan.
Right.
Because although I ain't had no daddy around, but mama ain't raised no fool.
Right. I know that's right.
Okay. I was like, baby, you ain't taking these coins that I worked hard for. So I remember one of the arguments we got into, because he was like, your mouth. Yeah, if I was a gorilla pimp out, bitch. And I was like, and me, mouthy. going off. And I was just like, bam, this is my exit. You can't deal with me. Yeah. I can't deal with you. We can't deal with each other. So at that moment, I was like, shoot, what you showed me, which was nothing. You just really got me hired. I'm about to do myself. And that's what I did. I became independent.
Independent contractor.
An independent contractor right away. Right. So I was just like, damn, man, like, but it's not, for the girls who are in that situation, they try to prey on the ones that are weak or they think that's weak. You know what I mean? So it's more so like when they take it in, a lot of people like to judge people, but they don't know everybody's story. You know what I'm saying? Because the girls that, you know, we would go out with, their stories was worse than mine. So I'm like, I'm just trying to encourage them, like, you don't got to do this. Like, you can get out of this. He ain't going to do nothing. That's how I used to.
Yeah. Girl.
In my mind, he ain't gonna do nothing.
All the time they get slap boxed around home.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. By the grace of God, I actually had a good, nice little pimp. A nice pimp.
Being a polite pimp.
Oh, he was a polite pimp.
He was a gentleman, actually.
So after that, he must have, you know, I definitely used to see him all the time. And I was just like, it used to be one of those like, nah, it's like, what's up? You doing good? I see you doing good. I'm like, yeah, I am. Thank you. Dang, you know, and I ain't never, Then the pimp stuff, that's, You have to watch your body, watch your back, because they know when you green, they know when you're not from somewhere. You know, people start smelling new fish,
And that's good that you had some piff to you to begin with.
Yeah.
I started working in nightlife, like, I was 18. I didn't have no piff, no spit, no nothing. I looked like a baby chick and I acted like a baby chick, and I was just like, as innocent as I looked, as innocent as I was.
Yeah.
I was just like, as quiet, like as unaudible, didn't make no friends, didn't make anything, didn't talk to anybody. Like if I was talking to a guy too long, I'd be like, okay, like I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like they saw that and they didn't see that I wasn't timid because I was dumb. I was timid because I know that in order to move in those spaces, I had to be very covert about myself. Like I had to be very naturally, like I am, like very like non-confrontational. But I had to also like be like, okay, like if I put myself in the belly of the beast, I already know what's about to happen. Like, you know, they're gonna zero in on me. I didn't want anybody zeroing in on me. So the fact that you were like, nah, straight off the gate,
right?
That's great. Like.
Girls,
like, nah, especially if you first moving to Houston, that's one thing I always said. I wish I was a lot stiffer.
Yeah.
I wish I was a lot stiffer. I wish I was good at boundaries. I wish I was like, had that, but I had that meow.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because I wish I had that meow. Like,
girl.
I do. Like, I've been wishing like I was in like a soft girl era, but where I came from.
Girl, that had me tossed around. That had me beat up.
I do wish that I was like more softer, but like I guess where you come from is like really in you. You know what I'm saying? So I only been here for 8 years. So imagine all the rest of my life, my upbringing. Trying to fight my way into being accepted and being light skinned too. Like, and that's, man, a lot of people don't realize just like people's stories. It gets deep. It gets more deep. Confidence wasn't really built. I feel like I just had to fight every time. Like I had to fight my own battles. Right. I was like wasn't heard. I just didn't feel. It just wasn't, I had to fight. Yeah. I fought my way through everything that I did. And I always had to bet on myself. Because anybody that was around me, it was like, I don't want to be like that. And I, watching my mom and stuff like that raise 4 girls by herself. Yeah. That really made me like, I was like her boy for real. I had to step up. And, oh, Lord, I do not want to cry on this damn podcast.
Go ahead and cry. I got some tissues in the back, baby. We got you covered. I got lash glue.
Thank you. But no, like watching, just watching that, it was like I had to be strong all the time. And that's probably where I get all this mouth from. And it's not even on purpose. It's like I don't want to feel like somebody could just play with me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like just anybody. Obama can't play with me. Beyonce can't play with me. None of these people can't play with me because at the same time, like we're all human and we all have these, these obstacles that we go through. And it's like, how are you going to tell me, what to do? Oh my God. And I'm stubborn. So it's like,
you a Taurus.
Yeah.
That lets me know everything you know. Tauruses are not ever going to go for that. Like, they have their own opinion. There's no convincing them. Trust me. Like, I dated a Taurus for a long time. Like, hard-headed.
Yeah.
Tough.
And a soft booty, baby. And it's like, and I just want to be surrounded around people who can deal with me.
Right.
Who accepts me for me and allow me to embrace who I am. Because I would rather be by myself and happy than around people and miserable trying to Debbie down myself to make you feel good. But it's like, well, what about me? I still have these feelings. I still have, so whatever. So after that, I started grinding bad in the strip club every single day when the sun came up, like sundown. Just, I don't know. But then that money started coming and I was like, oh yeah, this is
it. Wakes you up.
It woke me up.
Wakes you up.
And by the grace of God, I didn't have to move back to Philly, and I didn't lose my apartment that was full of roaches. I actually was able to move out of my apartment and get an apartment that I adore, and it made me feel like it was for me, But then you start having all of these things that try to pull you down. That's called life. So my first apartment, roaches. Second apartment got broken into.
Damn.
Third, but yeah, it was bad. Like I was really I'm survival of the fittest.
Right.
Literally, I survived so many things, and I walk around like I'm good. Like I'm just like I'm good. I done been through many things, and I'm just like if I went through this, I could get through anything.
You go through anything.
There's no stopping. Like. And I've always had this thing about me where just don't give up on yourself.
Right.
You give up on anything else. Just don't give up on yourself. Because that's all you... Oh, shit. God damn it.
I got the lash glue. Go ahead, let it out. Yeah, it's just so important to bet on yourself. Like, I literally... Moving to Houston was... the greatest thing that's happened in my life thus far, because I really through everything I've been through, I've had to develop such a callous around myself, and it's made me so much more receptive to be able to cross over into the professional world. Now I'm like, oh, nobody can play me now. Like I've had people try to play me because I'm soft spoken. This is not. I've had to isolate and fight for myself because I've never been one to run a pack. So moving to Houston has really instilled that dog in me.
Yeah.
It puts that dog in you. So
yeah.
How did you begin to adjust? Like how did you begin to change yourself on the inside after moving? Like what was some of the things that you had to change about yourself?
So I knew that the strip club was a forever. And that moment when I was fighting over $1, I said, baby girl.
250 cents.
Baby.
For quarters.
Oh, girl. That was the devil's playground, okay? Yeah. And at that moment, I'm like, yo, I'm better than this. Like, I'm better than this. I know I can do better. I'm talented. I'm smart. You know, I got 2 degrees. Don't use them. But I'm like,
big degrees.
I'm like, right. I'm like, but, you know, I'm like, just talking to myself, encouraging myself, listening to people who want to do better too. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, you got to change your mind. And when I realized, like, I know I got to change my mind, I just didn't know how or when I could change my mind.
So what was the pivot moment for you? Where you were like, all right, I can't be fighting over 4 quarters no more.
Right. 'Cause the crazy part about it was when I got in, I didn't have no plan. Then after probably a year, I was like, I'm gonna do this for 4 years. I'll do this for 4 years. I feel like I can, you know, do something. I don't know what the plan will be, but the tongue is very powerful. Because that 4th year came, and like at the top of my 4th year though, I was just sitting down at the club, cute, makeup done, cute, just cute. And I'm just like waiting for some coins to come in. And it was a real slow night. And I was just sitting there. And it was actually March 27th. I remember the date too.
Oh, wow.
2019. Look. Specifics. Like, I remember I was just sitting there like, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I can't do this no more. And shoot, at the time I had a little boyfriend, and it was like I'ma just lean on that until I could figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not telling him my plans. It was just like, okay, I just know I ain't going nowhere. Like, I'm not going back into this. So I just started getting creative. And I was like, what do I know how to do? Because previously I was selling sunglasses. Like, they used to call me J Shades, girl.
Okay.
I was selling sunglasses. They was fire, too. I used to sell to, like, XO, Zero, like, all of them. Like, and, you know, going to the, you know, video shoots and stuff. I was really popping with the shades. I ain't gonna lie. Like, the shades was really popping. And I didn't expect it to pop, but I was like, oh, okay, the shades pop because I'm popping. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's who you are, not what you do, right?
Right.
So I was like,
betting on you.
I bet it on myself. Yeah. I'm talking about you guys. Like, I was making some good money. I was making more money on my shades than I was in the club. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I just go to the club just with the shades and especially on a slow night. And I'm like, oh, I'm going in. I'm bringing it in. I'm talking about everybody having my stuff. I'm selling it to the customers. I'm giving lap dances too. I was.
You wanna buy these shades?
Yes. They like, oh, these are cute. I was like, yes, girl. Baby, I was selling. Okay, probably the first person that really could do that, so which I was grateful for. So then I was like, yeah, I gotta get creative. How am I gonna get creative? And I'm like, what am I good at? Just laying in the bed, writing down stuff. I'm like, what am I really good at? And then it came to me. I was like, I'm about to reposter my sectional. I don't know what. I was just like, I'm about to reposter my sectional. I reposted my sectional. Posted it on Instagram. Didn't even think whatever would happen. Yeah. And it went up from there. And that was in 2018 though. Not after I did both. I sold shades, then I slowed down with the shades. I started doing upholstery in 2018 just to kind of see what it was going to be like, and then I exited the strip club life in 2019.
So you just transferred those skills over. Mm-hmm. You transferred that same hustle over to a more sustainable hustle. Mm-hmm. So you use the same skills that you did in the nightlife. Yeah. As you did to be a boss. And I feel like a lot of times, a lot of women can't see themselves beyond the nightlife until they're there a lot longer than you do, because they haven't mastered what you mastered of, okay, how can I take these selling skills and apply it to this business? Yeah, because I had to use what I had to get what I want. So, right, as you should. I was working my background, and this is why I love, I loved having jobs before I became an entrepreneur. Although, like, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, I just didn't even know what and how, and I didn't even know really what that meant, to be honest, at the time. But when I came and I was like, okay, how am I going to use these sales tactics? Because I had great customer service in my jobs. Like, I used everything from my skills. I learned it. Whatever I learned, I used it. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do upholstery. So then I will post it. So by the grace of God, man, there are people who are watching, strippers, these dancers. People are watching you, and they're trying to see what you're really trying to become. Mm-hmm. So I started doing the upholstery, and I was just getting people. People was just like, come do my club, come do this, come do that, just to kind of get my portfolio together. And I was like, and these were men though that were like reaching out to me like, yeah, come do my hookah, lounge and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I'm like, all right, hey, I'll do it. Like, you trust me that bad? And then famous DJ in Houston, everybody know who he is.
He actually hit me and was like, look, I'm going to send you to this, this guy, and he going to hit you up. Maybe y'all could work. And in my mind, I didn't really think much of it, but I was like, oh, that's dope. I appreciate it. And, shout out to my friend Rico. He actually hit me up and he put me on, like, literally. So it was like from famous DJ to, the famous upholsterer carpenter guy in Houston, too, because he was doing Everybody Club as well, too. And he was just like, he took me under the wing and taught me everything I needed to know. And of course, I was, I taught myself more. So I read because, like, I wanted my own wave. I wanted my own creativity. They just more so, like, opened, doors for me that I probably couldn't open up for myself. Like, just as a female doing handiwork, right. Like, in clubs. Like, you trust me to reupholster your club? Great.
And isn't it crazy how your redirection... Like you were holding on so hard to Louis Vuitton.
Yes.
You was crying. You was holding on to dear life for this and wanted to stay there. And God was literally like, nope, you gotta come here. And then from there, you were able to find out what you didn't want to do, which was dance. And then from there, you were redirected to the strip club. From the strip club, you was redirected. you met your connects at the strip club. So it's like, isn't God's redirection so powerful? Like, you look back on it, and it's like, this is how I know God's plan is better than my plan.
Yes.
If it was up to me, I would have been the general manager at Louis Vuitton.
That's what.
Now this girl's her own CEO. Like, come on, like,
I really
don't
would
question
have.
it.
I thought that was like, a dream job for most women,
right.
But in our reality,
the vision was so much bigger than yours.
And I'm letting God steer that wheel every time. I don't even jump in no more.
And not anymore. Like,
no, I let
him. At this point in
guide
my
me.
life, I'm hands off because every time that I've tried to, like, force things together, because I'm like you in a point to where I'm headstrong. So once you tell me, once I have my ideas planned, I'm not straying from those ideas.
Right.
Not like, so God has literally brought me to my knees. Right? To a point where everything I was doing wasn't working. Yeah. The only thing I can do is let go. That's the only thing I can do. Yeah. Because I keep swerving out of control. Yeah. and the harder I try, the harder I'm swerving. Like, have you ever been on ice? And the harder you try to swerve, the more out of control your car gets. Yeah. It's like, no, you got to let it, and then it'll go straight. And that's one thing that I learned about just not feeling ashamed or bad about your situation at the time being, because look at how that changed the whole trajectory of your life.
And then, dang, when you put it like that, it just makes it, oh my God.
It goes
full circle. Seriously, and when you say force, I never, that's when I forced Louis Vuitton. But Louis Vuitton taught me so much. It's like, can't hold on to something that don't belong to you, really. Like, I can't control that. Y'all gonna fire me. So
you like, no, yeah. And then God's like, I got this behind your back, you stubborn little child.
Yes. Now, what you got to go through, you may not like it.
It ain't easy. Like, I'm not saying like, trusting in God's plan is gonna be the most like peaceful thing you're gonna go. Right. It is the most hectic. It is the most. Yes. It's the most uncertain. Like, you have to have faith. Like, you have to move on faith, because there's no seeing. There's no seeing a tunnel. Like, there's no seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You literally just have to trust, and it gives you anxiety. It gives you like all this, like, you know where you want to be. You don't know how you're gonna get there.
Exactly. I definitely put all of my faith into God. And I grew stronger to Him actually. Within like the end of last year, and I'm just so grateful to how I was able to transition after my depression. So I was just like, I'm giving it all to God, because I don't know everything. I can't steer a wheel that's trying to pull me this way, but I'm still like, no, I want to stay here. Yeah. And the moment that you keep doing that, you're going to miss out on the opportunity that God had for you, because you're trying to stay somewhere that you really not supposed to be.
You're not supposed to be there.
And it's like, okay, because I done tried so many things. Trust me, I'm a risk taker. I'm going to try something that makes me feel good, even if I had to, go $0, but I promise you I'm gonna sell every furniture piece in my house, or I'm just gonna grind it out. You know what I'm saying? Before I even get to that low point. But right now I'm literally allowing God to stare. My hands are behind my back,
right?
And I'm letting him do what he needs to do. I'm not fighting him no more. I used to be like, no, why is this happening? Questioning him.
Oh, you already been through the worst part.
Yeah.
You already been put through the trial by fire. Like, for you to make it out on the other side of the nightlife and to have built something meaningful for yourself, like, you won for real. Like, you won. And, in the same fashion that I've had, like, my books and my podcasts and things to vent on things that, lessons that I've acquired while I've been working in a nightlife. Yeah. So it was just like, now it's so hard whenever you're around girls, and you're talking to your coworkers and stuff, and they don't have a vision what they want to do, and you can't make a vision for them. You just have to lead by example. So now that they see you popping your stuff, now it inspires them to be like, okay, what's next for me? Because she was in the same spot I was in. Yeah. And now she's doing what she loves to do. So
yeah. And then also, I'm not gonna lie, like, surrounding yourself around people who actually genuinely love you and want to see you win, even at your lowest. Okay? Because my man now, my man, okay? He is so supportive. And he's seen, like, even my transition coming out of, the club, because we met in the club. But but it was like, he was very supportive, through all of my decisions, even when I would not listen and stuff like that. But he allows me to figure it out. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's like, no, well, you're going to do this. And it's like, nah, like, it was like, nah, like, I got you, you fall, I'm gonna catch you. So,
real one.
Yeah, period. So, with that being said, it helped a lot throughout my process as well, too, because you can't do it by yourself.
Right. That's something that I had to, start looking around, because, like I said, like, I'm an introvert, so it's like, the people that I can count on is like, like, a friend or two, and then my mom. Yeah. And, like, that's it. And it's like, did you have to, whenever you started looking around and seeing, like, who was for you, was going to help you out, like, did you have to lose some people around the way?
Girl, what? Girl, I think I lost people every season, literally. I'm talking about winter, fall. And it wasn't hard. Yeah. Because I already, in my mind, I've already knew, like, your time is up. I'm naturally stubborn. Yeah. If you go, it's like, it's gonna hurt now. I'm not heartless.
Right.
I have, like, a really big heart. But I also don't dwell on things that's not for me. Yeah. If you want to go. I mean, what you want me to do? I ain't doing what I did at Louis Vuitton. Obviously, that didn't work. Right. So, if it's, everybody has their seasons. And I'm grateful for those who actually came into my life, because we learn from others too. You know what I'm saying?
Letting people go is like that thing that's like so essential to your ascension. Like, you can't be around everybody that you came in the game with whenever you get out the game.
Yeah. Like, you have to learn to let people go. And it's not letting them go. And don't let them go with, like, especially if you're grown, okay? Yeah. Don't let them go in a way of, being malicious or doing things to just say, I don't want to be a friend no more. Yeah. That's childish. You have to, kind of let it drift apart. Let it drift. You know what I mean? Because it's supposed to be the calm before the storm. Yeah. So at the end of the day, if you can't go, and that word is being very, loosely said nowadays. Everyone is like, everybody can't go and you can't go, and it's like, appreciate them leaving.
Yeah. So you're telling me that you had a store and then you closed it down.
I closed it down.
So what's the story behind that?
Oh, Lord Jesus. So I'm very strong-minded. I'm going to go in go mode every time. And I need to be surrounded around people who go harder than me.
Right.
You know, if I'm going hard, I need you to go harder. So I felt like my team wasn't hard. My team was more so, they just was hungry for coins that wasn't even happening. I'm like, how are we gonna get this done if y'all can't even promote or market or do anything that get people in here?
Right.
I can only do but so much. You have a team for a reason, because what I lack, I need you to pick up. As an entrepreneur, it's not just, knowing it all. I learn every single day. So just being there taught me a lot of things, a lot of personalities that I came across, hiring and firing. Shoot, I fired my business partner. Because it was one of those situations. This person had personal issues happening that were coming into the store, and it was, energy is very transferable.
Oh, yeah.
So now, a lot of people just need to start healing first before they are getting into things. Don't mix business with personal, because it's so hard to turn the personal off, especially when, you like the person, you know, and you feel like this is your diary, this person that you can kind of talk to, which I'm an easy somebody to talk to. But when I'm at work, I'm working.
Yeah.
Like, we can have that when, hours is up, but at the same time, we have to build this business. We got to build this business. And I can't just build this business by myself. We got a 2,500 square foot store, paying $7,000 a month.
Whew, girl.
How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we got to think strategically, and we have to come together. It's not about glitz and glam. Like, people going to come and support just because it's black owned. So let it be that, But I held a lot of things in, and I couldn't cry as much. And then when I did cry, I cried in front of people that it was like you cared, but in all reality, it's like, okay, so what we do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, it was just bad. And I tried so hard. And I kind of I used every strength that I had left, because I was pouring my cup, baby. My cup. Wait.
Even less than that.
Mm-hmm. By the time I fired everybody,
it was nothing. Just lip gloss on
the cup. Now I'm dry. I'm so dry. My bank account get dry. I'm dry.
So you found yourself redirecting again.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
The part that they never prepare you for.
Glory.
When God keeps redirecting you, he's like, okay, I thought this was it. Why are you redirecting me again? It don't feel good.
He said, because Jazz, I wanted to show you your strength. I wanted to show you what you could do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was busting it out $20,000 a month. Like, I thought that was living la vida loca. I was like, I said, this. I'm talking about, you guys, I was able to witness consistent work.
That's amazing.
I was like, every 2 seconds, this was, and I ain't gonna lie, that's why I said it's who you hang around. Because when my man came in my life, I ain't gonna lie, until I came around him, I was getting orders. And I was like, it's you. You're my good luck charm. But it was really, I was in a great space.
Oh, you were getting that energy.
I was getting that energy.
Good energy attracts good energy.
Yeah. So then I'm like, dang, every 2 seconds I'm waking up to orders. Waking up to consultations every day. So I'm like, oh, I got a consultation. I'm happy. I'm like, yes. Then it started to build quick. It took only a year for the consistent to just happen. And I was like, ooh. I remember my list. I used to write the list of names down. Excuse me. Of my clients. And it started from 1 to 2 to none to 1, 2, 3 to none again. Then I'm like, then it started one day, pandemic, all that just happened, and it was just like bloop, bloop, bloop.
Oh, yeah, that pandemic.
Bloop, bloop. I was like, okay, hold on. I got all these things to build, okay? Because I ended up turning into the Yanni Steen Queen, chair queen, and making chairs for everybody across the United States. Like, I probably done had only 5 clients in Houston, but everybody else, they were from all over. Most of them was in North Carolina and Atlanta.
Oh, period.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, cool. I'm shipping. Oh, in Florida. Oh, in California. Okay, so I basically I probably reached, because I used to count too. That's how excited I was. Like, the growth, you start to see it. I had the United States map on my wall, and I would go through my invoices, and I would be like, oh, I had a client in each of these states. I hit probably 40. Had to. So I was like, oh my gosh, Kansas? What? Oh my goodness, over here, Ohio? How y'all know me in Ohio? Like, it was like everywhere. So I was just like, oh, this is so cool. I got big-headed, bad. But it wasn't big-headed in a way of like I thought I was better than anybody. It was big-headed, like I don't know what to do with my money, because I haven't made this much money before. So
New money problems. Not knowing business all the way. But, profits versus, material costs and shipping. All of those things that cost. So when I got my store, I just thought I was big ball shot call. Like, I was able to write 20 grand checks. Like, you ain't got to think that's security and everything else. Right.
I'll see you
First and last. Goodbye.
I'll see you January 1st.
Right.
But, I'm just so glad I was able to go through that. It was like one of the best times in my life. And even opening and closing was the best time of my life.
Right.
So, but after that, because this was last year, my sisters were so supportive. And my friends back home, too. They're like, girl, you are so good at what you do. Like, you be building this, like, I'm not, like, you do so good. And I was just like, really?
You wanted to stop the upholstery altogether.
Altogether, because I was pissed with everything. I felt like I was drained. I had no more to give. I was just I was burnt. Ooh. I was fried.
Died fried, lazy sad.
I was fried. Like, I was crispy, baby. Okay? And I was just like, dang, I don't want to do nothing no more. I'm starting to make excuses because everyone's still trying to encourage me. They're like, get back into it. I'm like, it's not that easy. My body hurt. I'm making all types of excuses just because I'm like, I was done. I'm done. But then I'm like, I'm gonna just let my man take care of me, right?
Period.
Then
Stop life.
It's not fun.
Stop life me.
It's not fun. It's not fun because it's like, dang, I don't want to just spend all his money. I want my money too.
Right. No, it's nothing like having your own brand.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
So I'm like, dang, all right, I gotta get back up again. Get back up again. That's how it is.
Yeah, there's a Rocky theme song. Dun.
Yeah. And I was gone for 6 months, but my sister was like, and I knew she was serious. And she was just like, she looked at me in my face. She was like, look, you gotta get back to that. Like, that's you. And I was like, okay. At that moment, I was at peace with it. And when I got back from Philly, she was like, I had told her, I ended up making a new logo and everything, revamping, rebranded, and all that. And I was just like, okay, cool. I'm about to get back to what I know. But I got to tell my people who were supporting me, like, how did I just left them. Yeah. I really had supporters. They were like family. I don't call them followers because it's like, it's a little cliche. And it was like they was really rocking with me. So, and to know that people were really upset that I left, I was like, dang, I'm so sorry. That is so selfish.
You're impacting people you don't even know you're impacting.
Right. So I was like, that's all new to me. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm one of those people that like, I'm just me. Mm-hmm. And what you don't see and what you don't hear, you know, you just kind of move on your daily day basis. You're like, all right, well, get back up and go to work. That's how I looked at it. I was like, gotta go to work, you know. But I had made friends online, lots of them, you know. So when I got back, I'm talking about my life was live, and they was like, you back? Aww. And I was like, yes, y'all miss me. They was like, girl, you better not leave us again. You better not, you better go. They just encouraging. And I was like, all right, bet. And I said, look, but I'm coming back with some new stuff. Right. I'm not doing no yawny chairs no more. I'll make them. But that's not going to be all. Like, I got some heat. I got some things. Like, I'm creative. Like,
you just have to rest and recharge.
Ooh.
And sometimes you just got to rest and recharge and come back better.
Come back better, bigger, stronger, right. And that's
the comeback.
That comeback, come back.
Right.
Like,
come back way better than before.
Ooh, and I'm just like, yes, this feels so good. And now, like, getting celebrity clientele, I'm just like, oh my god.
It's
I'm like,
real.
And they're talking about, well, we're so proud of you. I said, you're so proud of me. How? I didn't even know you knew me. No, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they don't follow. Yeah. They just be looking.
Yep. I'm a fake page most of the time.
Girl, but I hope your celebrities not on no fake page.
We see you.
Sure. So I was like, okay, great. Because I'm telling people, it's not about who follow. It's not about how many followers you have. Most of the time, people don't even make that much money with all those followers. It's just people love your content.
Your impact is way more important.
Way more important. And, you know, to be honest, it's like your followers shows how good your content is. Because you could be a bad person with great following and good content.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care. I care about the people that's for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want real people, because they're gonna talk. They're gonna, you know, word of mouth is everything for me. Like, they're gonna tell people about me and how I, you know, grew their brand. Look, I did help grow their brand. I built stuff for their, you know, their business, and it's still, you know, excelling. So it makes me feel good. Like, dang, I'm doing this. I'm a part of your journey.
Yeah.
I remember this one girl told me that I was on her vision board.
Oh, period.
I was like, I was on your vision board.
On the vision board, girl.
On the vision board. Man, during the consultation, she was like, oh my God, I was saving my money. And I was like,
that is so sweet.
What? And I did not realize how much.
You got to keep doing it, because you don't know who you're touching. At the end of the day, you got to keep doing it.
That was my consultations is how I build my bonds, and it makes me want to keep going, you know. But I can't, you just can't let the devil win. You can't let people talk you out your spot, baby. Right.
And I feel like there's so much, like, just hearing from your testimony, from my testimony, like, never underestimate the power of reinvention. You could reinvent yourself as many times as you want to. You could leave and come back.
Yeah.
You know, and everything that was meant for you is still gonna be there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to grow according to the labels that you were once assigned to. You didn't have. You could have let them people say, "Oh, you're a stripper," and move accordingly. Like, no, you knew that you can reinvent yourself. Okay, now I'm reinventing myself as a sunglass lady. Now I'm reinventing myself as a upholstery lady. You know what I'm saying? You could reinvent yourself as many times, even though a lot of people are not gonna like it, of course, because they love the fact that they had that one leg up on you way back when. So when they see you moving up, then they're going, oh, you acting funny.
Yeah. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh, you acting brand new. Like, yes, you can keep reinventing yourself as many times as you want until you find the version of yourself that works.
Oh, my goodness. Because it's like, this is our life. Like, you can do it too.
Right.
So it's like, don't hate on me for working hard.
For what you didn't want to do.
What you don't want to do. Because you want to hand it to you. But I realized, you know, I lost it. Got it back, lost it, got it back. And it starts to mold you like, this ain't even forever. But what I want is to reach that point. But to get there is to go through things, because I know God got $100 million for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He got $100 million for me. And more too. But here's the thing. He like, I gotta take you through this. Because you messed up. You messed up when I was giving you $20,000 a month.
Girl, we millionaires. We just haven't cashed a check yet. We haven't cashed our check.
Okay, that the check is still signed. He like,
it got our name on it. We just gotta take it to the bank.
Gotta take it to the bank. Like, and it's like, he like, I got this for you.
Yeah.
So I need you to do this. And stop getting in your way.
Right.
Yeah.
God loves those followers who get stuck in their way.
Man.
So he can put the sandal on the back of our head an extra time and do.
I swear, because when I was coming back from my hiatus, y'all, let me tell y'all a little brief story before we wrap it up. But when I came back off of my depression, I had $695. And I lost the $695 by sending it to somebody by an accident, right?
No.
And I was like, oh my gosh, but I'm sorry. I sent it to my old bank account that closed. I went to Chase. Chase got it back for me. They were like, oh, well, it's closed, so it should come back to your account in X amount of days. I said, right. I lied to you not. The next day, you guys, I lost that $695 again to a scammer that I called. I called the scammer. I called them to help with my Facebook.
No.
But you can't call nobody with Facebook. I thought you could. So I was like, yo, I automatically thought I knew it. I was like, I'm being tested. God is testing me right now. He like, yo, you saying you trying to get back in business and you left when it got hard? Let's see what you gonna do with this.
Start from zero. And
I was like, come on. I swear, I was like, yo, I even asked the scammer. I said,
I noticed your hustle, but this is my life.
I mean, I was lying. I'm telling them I got kids to feed. They didn't care. They didn't care. He was like, in his mind, he was like, I got kids too, girl. What you mean?
They don't care about
They don't care,
kids.
girl. I got kids. So,
exactly. They thinking.
Lying.
My Mary Jeans. They don't get nothing about
lying. I don't even have children. Lying on kids I don't have. Why? Just because I was scared. But I really felt God really talking to me. It was like a nerve. Like it was really interesting how it was, because he was like this. It felt like this. It was slowly. He like, this not right. Then I'm still on the phone with the scammer. I feel the adrenaline moving a little bit faster. Like, he like, no. And he's giving me signs, but I'm still being weird because I called the scammer to help me. I called him to help me. So God, like, he like, at this point he punched me and I feel it in my chest. I swear to God.
Now he punched in the chest.
Man, and he know, because I be telling the story because I felt it. I still feel it because I be like, yo, I know that feeling now when God actually put his hands on you. You know what I mean? Like, God gonna put his hands on you. He really put his hands on me. And I was still, my stubborn self was like, nah. And why? After I gave that man all my money, the feelings went away. God left. God said, you playing. He like, yo, you done did. Yeah, he said, you done did what I was trying to stop you to do, but you did it anyway. You went against the will.
Yeah.
So he's like, I gotta go help somebody else right now, because you know.
And a lot of time we think it's God punishing us. It's us punishing ourselves. We're not being obedient. A lot of times we're like, why is God doing it to me? Because you aren't listening.
You're not listening. And I asked the scammer, I was like, did you just scam me? He was like, yeah. And I was like,
no, he said, yeah.
Thank you. He did. And
at least he was honest.
Man, that was the most respect I had. I was like, you know what? There's nothing I could do. Shoot, cool. But I was able to get $400 back out of that $695.
That's a start.
So yeah,
that's something.
And after that, I was like, God, I'm ready. I'm ready. I think I'm ready now. You know. And it's just like just through the obstacles. With me being back 8 months now, have you ever been a year yet? I've been receiving big blessings. I even met you.
I know. Through church. Through service.
Yes. Through service. And it was like, dang, I know I'm ready, but I'm not rushing the process. I'm really trusting it for real this time. Like, because I'm like, yo, back there, we're not doing that no more. Like, I'm going big.
Going big.
Like, I'm going bigger.
Right. But now you're starting from a different foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So God knocked that foundation. And that's $695. He said, no, you starting from cement, baby.
Yeah.
You starting from cement.
Yeah, because you don't listen.
And this time when you build, it's going to be hard to knock you off.
Uh-huh.
Like physically, emotionally, financially, it's going to be difficult because you already see the signs. You've been through it.
Yup. So once I get knocked again, I'm like, I've been through that already. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
What's that?
Exactly.
Oh, that was to the weak me. But the strong me now is like, all right, get back up again. Like, that's just what I'm going to do. It ain't, I done had money, lost it, keep going back and forth. Now I need to figure out, just work with my strategy. And I just gave it all to God. I gave the business to God. God going to handle it. He going to run it.
He going to grow it.
He running it. He running it now. I'm the employee.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting back watching him do his thing. And I'm just like, look, you guy, you go.
Do it.
Because you done sent this person, I didn't even know they knew me.
Right.
And I was like, hey, what's we doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's many, many blessings in my journey. And everything I've been through, I really appreciate it. I'm very, very grateful for it. Very, very grateful. And whatever's next, baby, I'm ready.
Ready. Because once you got a story to tell, the thing is, it's not even just for you to reap those blessings. Like, you have that story to tell. So other women are able to look at you and say, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're blessing others by working on yourself. So that's so inspiring, girl. I thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Like, this was so amazing. We need to have you back.
Oh, I'm coming back.
We're coming back. Because we got so much more to talk about.
Yeah.
we go all day.
Oh, we can go all day. Oh, Lord.
But yes, thank you so much. So tell us where we're able to find you, your handles, your websites, like everything. Like, tell us.
Well, you can find me at on Instagram at jdecor_upholstery. If you don't know how to spell, upholstery, you're gonna have like a little written thing.
Right. We're gonna.
You're gonna put the label on there. Okay, great. So J Decor.
I don't know how to spell upholstery.
Most people don't. Most people don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "Tell me what the word again is." Apostrophe. I said no. Yeah, girl.
Apostrophe.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, man, it's upholstery." So but it's J Decor_upholstery. You can also contact me at 281-512-0528. What else? I'm somebody else on my little handles I got.
Thank you so much, girl.
Thank you for having me.
See y'all next time.